This is the Inequality Translation number 2 homework. And the directions say to write an inequality to represent the following situations and then graph your inequality. So hopefully you're watching this video because you do not have to do number 1 and you do not have to do number 4. So you can cross those out. And I'm going to start with number 2. Number 2 says, if 5 times a number is increased by 4, the result is at least 19. So to translate, I'm taking those words and I'm changing them into letters and numbers. So 5 times some number would look like this. 5 times a number is like writing 5n. Is increased by, well, that would be adding. That's an operation. Is increased by 4. Then the result is at least 19. Okay, so the least or the smallest it could be is 19. So that means it's going to be greater than or equal to 19 because the smallest is 19. So we've written the inequality. Now we need to graph it, but before we graph it, I need to get it into the form where n is greater than or equal to some number. So I'm going to solve. So to solve, we do the opposite of adding or subtracting first. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. We're left with 5 times n is greater than or equal to 15. Then, to isolate or get the variable by itself, we do the opposite of multiply, which is to divide both sides by 5. So I'm going to come up over here. N would be greater than or equal to 15 divided by 5 is 3. All right, so now to graph that, I'm going to put my 3 in the middle. I know it's going to be a closed circle because 3 is included in the answer. And I'm going to stick a 2 in. Is 2 greater than or equal to 3? No. So then I'm going to put a 4 in. Is 4 greater than or equal to 3? Yes, that's a true statement. So my answers are going to be this way on the graph. Okay. Let's go to number 3 and set that one up. It says the sum of twice a number and 5. So we're doing twice a number and 5. That's the sum of those two. Is at most 15. So the most it can be is 15. So we've got to go less than or equal to, because 15 is the higher number. So now we've got to find the least possible number that satisfies this condition. So we're going to solve. We've got to get that n by itself. So I'm going to subtract 5. I get 2 times n is less than or equal to 10. I'm going to come up over here. 2n is less than or equal to 10. I've got to divide by 2. To get the n by itself. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So now I'm going to draw the graph. Make sure you put your 5 in the middle. You need 2 numbers before and after, and I'll let you guys finish that. All right. And then the next one, we're going to skip number 4. Remember, you don't have to do that. And we're going to go to number 5. So it says half of a number. So I don't know the number, but to do half of a number, you just divide it by 2. So half of some number plus 5 is greater than 12. So I'm going to need the greater than sign, 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. Okay, so now to solve, we're going to do the opposite of adding. So I'm left with n divided by 2 is greater than 7. To solve for n, I'm going to do the opposite of divide by 2, which is multiply both sides by 2. Because I have a 2 in the numerator and denominator, they reduce. And n is greater than 14. Don't forget to make your graph of that. Put your number in the middle with 2 bigger and 2 smaller. Hopefully this will help.